I've spent today perfectly mapping out the best possible loot route in Arc Raiders that will get you all of the workshop upgrade materials. It will help you find some blueprints and even get some weapons and good stuff as you go as well. If you follow this route, you'll get all of the materials you need for your workshop, yes, including that infamous rusted gear. And more importantly, part of this loot route contains a special container that seems to have pretty much every single item you could ever ask for. It is the God Spot, and I don't know why it's so special, but the loot you can see on screen is from that single container. Now, this is going to be a longer video. Bear in mind, because I need to showcase the full route, but there are timestamps showcasing each individual area and room that has the different items. So take a look through those timestamps if there's a specific thing you need, and you can try and put more attention into that area in this route, or just skip around the video to find what you need. All right, first what we need to do is make our way to reinforced reception. Once we're over there, I'll explain exactly how this loot route will work. Now, as we go in here, just keep in mind that a lot of people do like to PvP around here. So you've got to be really proactive in dealing with players. So, you know, there's many ways to deal with that as we go in here, right? Mostly using our comms. You come down here and the grind starts now. Then we come into this room on the right first. And let's check. It hasn't been opened yet. So you're going to need to breach this first, then open up the door. And we're going to close that. What we'll do is we'll loot here, and this is going to give us the explosive compound we need for one of the crafting materials. Usually there's a pretty high chance that it can spawn here. We'll just keep looking though. Loot through all of this, and there's the explosive compound, as you can see there. That's the first item you're going to need. And as you're going, by the way, these broken handheld radios can be turned into sensors and batteries, which are really useful for late game crafting. Quick heads up. There's obviously other loot in here that's worth looting as well, including these black boxes, which do have a chance for blueprints, although not too high. And if you do have the breaching ability, then you can loot these as well. There's also often a grenade box under the bench, and honestly, that is absolutely worth looting so you can get the Wolfpacks. You're going to need to get a lot of Wolfpacks because you're going to need to farm a lot of the Arc to finish the workbench, right? So save all the Wolfpacks. Bring those back with you. You will get a lot in here, obviously. But if not, there's usually a grenade box down here that you can loot as well. And once you're done with this, you can start... Oh, complex gun blueprint. I don't actually have that. So as you can see, you can get blueprints in here as well. So now what we do, you come across here, making sure that no one's looking at us. Loot this one here. The light bulbs for the late game expedition, so it's worth taking those. Loot this. And now this is where most of the materials are going to come from. In this next room. So what we want to do is first... Oh, here we go. Computer. So you can loot these. And that's going to give you a lot of the potential parts like pride motherboards and stuff. So we come up here. We're looking. There could be either here or up here. You'll find a battery pack. And you can carry these battery packs to open a room. And that room is where you're going to get a lot of the goodies. Like, I'm talking so much good stuff. Not just towards your workshop, but also towards all progress on your account, including crafting. So, if it's not up there, and it's not behind the stairs, then you'll also find it here as well. So, there's 3 potential spawn points for it. And we carry them one by one down into this corridor. So, let me show you the first one. And then I'll show you what happens once you get all 3. I'll just skip it so you don't have to watch unnecessary stuff. You put them all in here. And as you can see, a lot of pops, a lot of fireballs, a lot of ticks down here. So you're going to get all of the basic materials you need for the upgrade. Like, there's so many down here. So as you get the 3rd battery, this door will now open, which is where the fun begins on this particular run. So these boxes, and I'll show some videos of it on screen, seem to basically spawn everything. From gun parts, to blueprints, to weapons, to rare items, to also the craftable items that you need to progress your workshop, including the rusted gear. These boxes, these shelves are extremely different for some weird reason, and they spawn so much good stuff. So always loot those. And then we do have these 2 lockers here as well, which can spawn weapons and explosives. Top of that, you're not really going to find any. Oh, we found the advanced mechanical components there. So like I say, you can find a lot of this stuff in this room. So advanced mechanical components we do need. There's a rusted medical kit here. So you can see, I just wanted to showcase this room again. Showcase that you can get rusted medical kits in this particular locker here. Now, as you walk along here, look on the computer desks. You will find loot spawned here. Top of there being like actual meds that you can use. What you're going to find is electrical components, like the surge shield recharger there, right? So there's a lot of good stuff here. As you go along, you'll also find advanced electrical components down here. And we can see them there. So you're going to need that as well for crafting the workshop. So something that you'll need. And they'll usually spawn here quite often. We've got another blueprint box here. There's also another one here in the corner. And then there's almost always a weapon box here. You can get blueprints in here and weapons as well. And a grenade box. You can also get blueprints in here, believe it or not. Sorry, there you go, Anvil blueprint. Not a grenade box, an ammo box. So you can get all that in there as well. Definitely come through here as much as you can. But this is not where the loot run ends. What we actually want to do now is double back on ourselves and come down this way again. So what we're going to do now is walk down here and come back through this room here. Okay? And then we can go upstairs here just quickly. And we're going to find this room. Now, these beds can often have medical items, right? So that's where you're going to find the cracked bioscanner and the medical stuff. There's obviously another blueprint box. So you want to watch out for these. As you can see here, we've got wires there. We've got the durable cloth. That is one of the medical items. So these particular, they're technically containers, can spawn the medical items you need. So this is the med bay, okay? And also these are medical specific containers there. So you're going to be able to find most of the medical stuff you need here. And I'll showcase on screen how I've managed to find... Well, there's the antiseptic. As you can see, that's another medical item that we need. I found the rusted medical kit down here as well. So keep that in mind. This is the medical section where you'll find all of your medical goods. Okay? So, pretty good going so far. And for some reason, I don't know if I just got lucky, but this raider cache here is absolutely filled with good stuff. Like, this is crazy. I might have just gotten lucky there, but there is a raider cache there. As you come through here, you can now go back down the stairs and walk through this way. So that's the med station. And then in this room down there, which you open with a battery, you've got all sorts of random loot that can potentially lead to what you need. And now you can come down this way and you're going underground, and we're going to really start getting more and more stuff. We come down here. There's a locked room key there, locked key room there if you need it, and a dead guy. Hold up. Now you want to breach and search all of these containers, because these can contain a lot of the rusted stuff you need, like rusted tools. And rusted gears can even be in here, although it's a lot higher chance for that. But you do want to breach these because you can get a lot of the rusted tools that you need. And steel springs, which are really useful for a lot of the elements in the game. A lot of the crafting. So now once you come down this step here, you can basically just start looting all of these cars around. If you're really in need of the rusted gear, the rusted gear can spawn in any breachable vehicle container. It is rare, so keep that in mind. It is rare, no matter where you go, whether it's Blue Gate, Buried City, or the Dam. You know, there's a lot of places, but overall, you want to loot these. This particular vehicle here can have a lootable side here, and that has, from my experience, had a higher chance to loot, to have rusted gears. What we can do is just keep breaching as many cars as humanly possible. Got a bastion there, so you do need to be a bit careful. You're going to get a lot of stuff that you can break down into oil, which is really useful for late game, especially for crafting the Wolfpack once you have the recipe. But you're mostly looking for the rusted gears. And you'll also potentially find rusted tools. But cars are the #1 place, the rusted gear. As you're coming through here, you'll also find motors in cars as well. Motors and rusted gears are incredibly rare, though, so do keep that in mind. So you basically want to keep coming down here now, right to the very end, and you're just going to keep looting all of the cars that you find in the hopes of finding a gear. There's a motor, so like I say, you need the motor. That's a very important item that you also need. If you have enough motors already, and you've got that part, you can salvage it into oil. I would highly recommend, if you have the space spare, to start picking up springs and oil and batteries. Springs are basically needed for most weapon crafting. Oil is needed for most grenade crafting, including the Wolfpack. And batteries are used for energy ammo crafting. And those are the endgame weapons. And this is where the fun begins, really, for finding rusted gears. I strongly believe there is a higher chance to find them in here. These things here. Now, I don't know if it's just because there's a chance for more loot per... Like, usually you get more loot here. There we go. So there's rusted gears down here. So we've got proof. Right now in my inventory, we have explosive compound, rusted gears, advanced mechanical components. We found blueprints. We found antiseptic. We found advanced electrical components. We found so much stuff that is required for the crafting progress of your bench. I actually already have that, so I'm going to leave it there for someone else to find. But almost every item has a location in this loot route, right? We've gone through mechanical places. We've gone through a medical room. We've gone through explosive room where you can find explosive compounds. I'm having a look through my list. One thing we haven't found is industrial batteries. There's another advanced mechanical components there. Industrial batteries, and also we need to find a position for the power cable. We'll get to that there soon. There's also a weapon case that can spawn here as well. So worth checking that as you come through. And now that we've looted this, so try and loot as many cars as you want. And now you want to come through this corridor here. And walk through this way. Coming all the way down. And as we go down, we want to walk past into that green area there. We want to keep walking across. Keep walking through. By the way, there's one car here that requires a key. Maybe it's this one there. The patrol car key. So if you've wondered where that is, there. Got another one of these vehicles here, but I think this one isn't lootable this time. Another gun case can spawn here as well. You're going to get a lot of stuff. So now that we've done that, we're going to go into the room that can have the kind of stuff like the industrial battery. So come down here. Choose that quickly. And you'll know you're in the right place because you start seeing this green light. And there will be some more cars that you can loot down in this tunnel too. There's so many pops down here. Like if you're trying to farm explosive compounds to make Wolfpack grenades to take down the queen, this is an incredible place to do it. So yeah, there's more cars down here, but we've shown that you can find rusted gears down here already. And if you keep looting more and more cars, you're going to find more. This power generator can also spawn rusted gears. Somebody has already been through here. Now, this is usually a breachable room. Somebody has opened it though. I'll come through this room again on a separate run to showcase what it's like. So here we are now on another run, doing this again. This time the door hasn't been breached. So you can see what it looks like when you come through here for yourself and what kind of loot you can find towards your workbench here. I'm going to open this breachable room. Again, there'll be this thing here. I always want to open these because you can get rusted tools and other important materials. And even blueprints. I found a jolt mine blueprint in there. Okay, so yeah, they're worth looting, worth opening. But it's really these shelves that we're going to be looking at here specifically in this room. Even found a lemon in there. Can you believe that? So yeah, if you still need to do scrap, you can come here. So what we want to look for on this shelf in particular is industrial batteries specifically. You can also find other things like the advanced mechanical components, fried motherboard there. So that's another item you can find here. So pretty much all of the like electrical side of things you can find in here for some reason. It's the most random selection of items on these shelves. And the loot here seems to be quite different to the pharmacy Plaza Rosa building. Oh, look, there's the rusted shut medical kit there as well. So another item that we need towards our progress in this one room. Just a massive random selection of items, all of which can be used for the workshop. Now we're going to come through here, breach this door. And then it's a route towards the exit. But there's still a lot of stuff to kind of be found. We're going to come through here. And there are some red containers here. You always want to loot the red lockers. They have a lot of stuff. Polluted air filter, you can salvage into oil. Very worth doing. You're going to want to build up a lot of oil. And this can also be salvaged into oil. There we found the rusted tool. So it's another item that you need for the workbench there. And then we are going to come down through this way.
Head home at the warehouse air shaft.
Walk through here now. Walking down here, following the left route. As we come down here, there are more cars that we can loot if necessary. Keep an eye out on the car seats. You'll find springs there. And there's one back suitcase here, sorry, that usually has weapon parts. So you go heavy gun parts. So that's nice. Come through here, more cars to loot. A power generator to loot sometimes. And we obviously have this big one here, which I could be wrong, but I do feel like the chance to find rusted gears in here seems to be a little bit higher than other places. Got oil and even mechanical components as well. And now what we're going to do is come on in here.
Let's use that entrance.
And, oh, what's that there? Magnet, nice. Actually could do with that. Walk down through this way. Now once we come through here, if you need any more electrical components or anything like that, you can get them from here. But honestly, it's not a big deal. Looks like a lootable container, but I haven't seen any loot there. And there's also 2 more red lockers here. Once again, the loot in here is crazy. This is where you can find the power cable as well. So once again, power cables are an important item for your workbench. You can even find lemons. So if you do this loot route a few times, there's more rusted tools there, you're essentially going to build up pretty much all of the materials you need, and there won't be many items that you are missing. Okay, so that's quite interesting. So now we come up here, we jump on this, we walk here, and then we climb up here. Now I'm going to show you another run for a second where you'll actually find a weapon box here. You'll find a weapon case. So this is another spot to get potentially more blueprints and weapons. And then we can climb up here, essentially. Oh, look, there it is, sorry. There's a weapon box down here, look. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Once again, more weapons and potential blueprints to take. And then it is a journey up to the tippity top. So we take this zip line up. And you can take this, or you can take this, or you can use the Raider hatch key, depending on which one is open at the time. And the great thing is that this loot route ends very close to the exit. So you can spend a long time underground looting and know that you're just a couple minutes away, or even just a minute away from one of these exits, which is usually open till quite later on in the raid. So that's the full run. Hopefully you'll be able to use this and get a bunch of the stuff that you need. You can use the timestamps to find the specific items you're looking for and spend more time in that particular area if you need it. A quick note on the medical items. The medical area in this particular route is a bit smaller, so if you are missing things, then just take a quick route to the hospital in Buried City, and that should get you sorted there if you feel like you're missing those in particular. The great thing is as well that you're going to find Wolfpacks here because there's a lot of grenade cases around, so save those because you're going to need to get a lot of arc parts to upgrade your weapon benches as well. All right, thank you everybody for watching. The background footage you're seeing on screen is a teaser for an upcoming video, so subscribe for that, and I'll see you very soon. Cheerio.